Hello students, this is Dr. J, and this is a video on proofreading. If you saw the other video, it was proofreading through poetry, and this time I would like to do the same thing, only to demonstrate some common mistakes and then a corrected version. And so this is how a reading sounds when I read it from punctuation mark to punctuation mark, and even more specifically from period to period. So if you watch the other video when I was reading the poem The Journey by Mary Oliver, I talked about how to read from period to period and that your voice drops when it gets to the period. So I've taken a little paragraph off of slate.com, and it's just a little excerpt from an article. The original author is Christian Lemp. The excerpt is titled, "What is it like to be a chef at an expensive restaurant?" This is just a paragraph. I edited this work to add mistakes to demonstrate proofreading techniques. I have the corrected version down here, which I'll read in just a minute. But I'm going to read through the uncorrected version. It doesn't have any of the grammar errors showing, so you can follow along and see how proofreading from punctuation mark to punctuation mark, specifically from period to period, sounds. Can't keep up with the work. Okay, notice that this is a period and not a question mark. Should be a question mark here. Can't keep up with the work. 100 applicants sent their resumes in today. If you can't do the job, then someone else surely can. The restaurant industry at any level is fierce. In fine dining, it's amplified. Period. The cooks were constantly reminded of an elite and highly coveted position that every other cook in the kitchen was vying for. Period. The people working next to you gave up everything. They moved to New York City. They worked at this restaurant for a chance to work at the job you currently have. Period. Can't handle it. What the original writers had meant was can't handle it. There's supposed to be a question mark here. Working hard for the opportunity. Working hard for the opportunity what? I'm sure the guy over there would love to do the job just a little better than you. That attitude was pervasive. Cooks would form miniature alliances, networks of teams help each other succeed while making sure certain people had no shot. Okay, I hope this made sense. Notice that I was just reading over the sentences within sentences that had no punctuation between them, and that you could hear how weird that sounded. Okay, so I'm going to unblock this black area here, and I'm going to read the corrected version. Can't keep up with the work. 100 applicants sent their resumes yesterday. If you can't do the job, then someone else surely can. The restaurant industry at any level is fierce. In fine dining, it's amplified. Cooks were constantly reminded that we were in an elite and highly coveted position that every other cook in the kitchen was vying for. That the people working next to you gave up everything, moved to New York City, and worked at this restaurant for a chance to work the job that you currently have. Can't handle it? I'm sure the guy over there would love the opportunity to do the job just a little better than you. That attitude was pervasive, so cooks would form miniature alliances and networks of teams to help each other succeed while making sure certain people had no shot. So I hope you could hear how my voice goes up and down, but it only goes down like for the end of the sentence when I run into periods. So if you do that with your work also, it will be a little bit easier to find where you have sentence errors. Another good way to find where you have sentence errors is to read it backwards, sentence by sentence. This looks like that attitude was pervasive. Cooks would form miniature alliances, networks of teams to help each other succeed while making sure certain people had no shot. Working hard for the opportunity. People working next to you gave up everything. They moved to New York City. They worked at the restaurant for a chance to work the job you currently have. So on and so forth. And this technique is especially good for finding fragments, which there is a fragment right here, working hard for the opportunity. If subjects and verbs, if every sentence needs a subject and a verb, and a subject and a verb is who is doing what, who's doing what in this sentence that I've highlighted? Working hard for the opportunity. Who is? Doesn't say anyone is in this sentence. And so that tells you that you have a fragment. I hope that was helpful.